Welcome back to the Walkie Show, and today we are talking about game number 4 between the Vegas Golden Knights and the Dallas Stars, where Dallas ties up the series at 2 in Vegas, and now both of the away teams have won the games in this series, and this is an interesting circumstance for the Stars, because on paper, yes, the series is even. It's at 2-2, but the true story that's going on in this series is games 1 and 2 were completely evenly matched up games where the physicality and the speed of the Golden Knights and against the super speed and the lethal offense, good goaltending on both sides of the Stars, and just everything just being so evenly matched in that first game. But the Golden Knights, with the boost of like Mark Stone in the lineup and Hurdle getting in the playoffs for the first time, they had a little bit more of a kick in their step. They win game 1, but it was so evenly matched. Game 2, even closer of a story. It was really a 1-1 game. Vegas gets the up goal, and then they score the empty netter, so it's 3-1. But truly, that was a 2-1 game with a very narrow lead. With a very, I don't want to say it wasn't a bad goal by any means, but it's just, it wasn't like a true, not a true domination win by any means. A close 2-1 win where Dallas easily could have won it. It just didn't go their way. But now in Vegas, 2 times in a row, the Dallas Stars have now gone 2-0 in a way. And now I am interested. I am so interested in this series because it's been such a close series. But I think the biggest thing is Dallas is back in it. And it's not a shock because they were right there. The series could easily be 3-1 Dallas. It also could easily have been 4-0 Vegas. It could have been 4-0 Dallas, actually. This has been, and I know you can say that, you can say that about any series. You can say that about Toronto and Boston. Toronto could have easily have won by now or something. True, technically. But you know what I mean if you've been watching these games. They have been such close and tight matchups that these teams really even each other out, where I don't want to say Dallas isn't undersized, but the more skilled and potent offense and some of the more younger players of the team, just like the speed and offense versus like the brick wall, like strength physical game of Vegas just even each other out so well. And it's just been so close. But Dallas has won the 2 games in a row now, and they're going to be going back to Dallas in their barn wearing that victory green. And I'm starting to worry for Vegas because there's something about this Vegas team that feels like they aren't they don't feel like the team that won the Stanley Cup last year, even though it's the same team but better. There's something missing, where last year it felt all the pieces were there together. Laurent Brossoit was being insanely good, and I think it might be the first round. They had an easy game against the Winnipeg Jets, having all those injuries, and they got their game going. They also had a really good regular season. They go in buzzing. Then they go into round 2, where they take on Vegas takes on whoever the hell they took on, and they just keep going through each and every one of these teams. They go against the Oilers, then they go against the Dallas Stars, and then the Florida Panthers, and it was just one thing after another. They just felt like an unstoppable train that literally just lost its conductor, and it wasn't going to be stopped. That's how Vegas felt. And this year, Vegas feels like the contender that loses to the San Jose Sharks. You remember when Vegas was just like so unstoppable, and after their first go at it in the NHL, they go all the way to the Cup final and then they lose. And then the next year it looked like they were just ready to go back to the final and win it this year, and then they got swept lost 3 games in a row and losing Game 7 against the Sharks in a controversial game to say the least, but they still lose. That's kind of where I feel like Vegas this year. They're giving off the vibe of like really good, but the actual ambition and passion and persecution to win the game just doesn't seem to exist in this series. And that's not to say they're playing bad, because they're not. Guys like Jack Eichel, Marchessault are going, Mark Stone, Hurdle, Noah Hannafin, the additions are going well. Logan Thompson is being a brick wall in the net. The issue is the Dallas Stars are so loaded with offense. They're so loaded with offense. Jake Ottinger behind them can solve every issue, and the defense is good, with Miro Heiskanen being maybe the best he's ever been. Ryan Suter's a puck machine. Tanev is a puck-eating machine as well. Lindell also. Like, the team goes deep with their guys defensively. But then up front, from Dadonov to Johnston to Delandria to Rupe Hintz, it's different lines chipping in on the goal scoring, whether it's the second or third line to the top line with Hintz. I know it's an empty net, but still. Wyatt Johnston and Stankoven getting points on the board, right? Everyone's chipping in. Everyone's getting goals on the board, right? And there's something about Vegas where they just don't have that. It just feels like they don't have that true energy and drive that they've had in previous years. Where last year they just felt like a non-stop like bullet that was just gonna keep going through every wall until it got the target it was shot at, right? And which was the Stanley Cup. This year it feels more like a I don't know. It just doesn't feel like they have the same kind of caliber this year. And it's just, they're doing fine, obviously, right? They won the first 2 games of the series. None of the games are runaways by Dallas. This is still a close game, but Dallas really did win this one. It never felt like Dallas was going to give up. It's just, they push so hard. They really push Logan Thompson in net. It's just the issue is, I don't know, there's something just missing to the vibe of the Vegas, especially because they lost at home. Vegas, if there was anything that they could put their hat on in their entire existence, is that they dominate the fortress, right? And now that has a dragon in it. Maybe it's the dragon's fault, but they play at home better than any team in the league, especially in the playoffs, and they lose both games at home. And there's just something about it where Dallas could have easily have won those first 2 games, and now they just felt like the lesser team in these last 2 games. It just feels like this is Dallas's series. This feels like Dallas's series is just buzzing. They're getting warmed up. Maybe they weren't so hot to start in game 1, and then that kind of led into game 2 where they couldn't get their footing. And now they have found their footing, and they are dominating Vegas, and they're buzzing right now. And they've been doing it all along. It's just Vegas is winning because they're just so good, just by how they're built. But things feel like they're falling apart. So obviously this series can go any way at this point, clearly. It's tied 2-2. It's an even series, but it's not even. This is a more leaning towards Dallas, right? If this was a judged competition, right? If this was like a boxing match and there was 4 rounds, and those 4 rounds were the 4 games of the series, this is going Dallas's way. After winning these 2 games away because of recency bias, and then plus their play in Game 2, and especially in Game 2. Game 1 was definitely Vegas's game, but Game 2 was where Dallas really had the scales more tipping towards them, but it went Vegas's way. And to me, that gives me the feeling that Dallas is so far winning this series. And so right now, what do these 2 teams have to do, right? What do they need to do to win this series? So for me, Vegas, they need to find that physical game that they're so good at. They need to, and it's not like they've lost it. They're still doing good at it, but they need to find that physical game when guys like Keegan Colasar get on the ice and they can go out there and bum a guy down to the ground, and then Hannafin can feed the puck real quick up to get it up to, I don't know, Doroviev, who then can go down deep, send it on the net for a rebound, and then they chip it in, right? And then that just goes up the lineup, where Jack Eichel makes an impressive pass across the ice to Marchessault, who can rip it past to Ottinger's far side. Like, they're missing those kinds of plays, you know? It just doesn't feel like they're the same buzzing that they were last year, where they just kept going on and on and on, and it just smart play after smart play. This year it feels like Vegas is sloppy. It feels like they don't have the complete rhythm down, and Dallas does. And for Dallas, they just need to punish Vegas, right? There's been so many times, especially in that game number 2, where they could have scored that goal. They could have gotten that tying goal. They could have gotten that real cushion of a goal to keep the game going and push it even further and make sure it's not this close, right? They keep getting close to that. And Dallas, with their lethal offense, and Vegas especially just being who the Golden Knights are, they need to punish the Vegas Golden Knights. When they get that slot opportunity, Stankoven needs to push that one underneath the pad of Thompson. When they get that side shot, they need to feed it on net for that rebound in the slot. They need to get the pucks from the blue line, get those tips in, right? They need to, and when they have a turnover in their own zone, Dallas needs to conquer on those. And for Vegas, that is their game. That is Vegas's game, is to score on those turnovers. If there's anything that I've said about the Vegas Golden Knights, especially last year's playoff run, is that they are the most punishing team in the NHL. They are the most they force you to make mistakes and then they will score on them. That is the Golden Knights' main thing. They are huge when it comes to punishing you for your mistakes. And that's one thing that feels like they're missing this year, is that the Dallas Stars are making few mistakes and Vegas is not scoring on those few ones, right? And that's kind of what feels missing this year. And I don't know if it's that Dallas is just super good or Vegas is just missing a step. I don't know what it is, but Vegas just feels like they're missing that extra step when it comes to that punishing play. And Dallas, they can't allow Vegas to find it first. Because especially with the series being tied at 2, only a team needs 2 more wins. Both those teams have done that so far. Both of these teams know they can win twice against the other. And right now, I'm leaning towards Dallas, but Vegas can easily if both these teams phoned it in, they decided not to play anymore, Vegas wins this series. Vegas, they need to find that punishing game. Dallas needs to truly find that punishing game. They need to get those goals in when they can, because the Vegas Golden Knights are better than any other team to just storm back. I mean, I know it's saying that after talking about the San Jose situation, but still, Vegas, when they get the momentum on their side, they're unstoppable. They're the defending Stanley Cup champions for a reason. They won it last year, and they dummied a team like the Dallas Stars with such a good, potent goaltender like Ottinger. They've made them pay in the past. So Dallas, they need to beat them before Vegas finds that footing. Because if Vegas does, Dallas and every other team in the NHL are screwed. So Dallas, that's their goal. They need to beat Vegas before they can. They need to punish Vegas when they can, and that's really all I got to say. So right now, the series is tied at 2, and I'm expecting Dallas to go home tomorrow, play in that barn of United Airways Center, and dominate the play. I think the barn's going to be going electric. The green's going to be going crazy. And I think Tyler Seguin gets a goal. I don't know why that's a prediction, but that's kind of what I feel like. So that is all I got to say. So thank you for watching this. If you made it this far, please, I'm begging you, please subscribe. Please, if you do anything today, just subscribe for me. Anyways, thank you for watching this. Have an amazing day. Too sweet. And ta-ta for now.